Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Sorry I had technical difficulties earlier. So I'm back with the job search segment. Today's segment's all about ending your job search struggles. I know a lot of you guys are struggling in your job search. A lot of you think it's because of the pandemic you're struggling. So I'm here to let you know it is not because of the pandemic you're struggling. Yes, pandemic has added some elements to transformation, change, and has caused a lot of chaos in everyone's life. But the truth is, pandemic has also created a lot of opportunities for many organizations, for many new businesses, everyone. Startup companies are booming right now in this pandemic. In Toronto alone, there's over 20, 30 startup companies that are hiring this very moment. So all those that are struggling in your job search, I'm here to tell you that you're thinking that you're struggling because the pandemic is totally false. It's not because of the pandemic that you're struggling in your job search. The reason you are struggling in your job search is because you don't know how to stand out of the crowd. How to stand out of the crowd. Yes, pandemic has created a very high competition between all the candidates. So there's more candidates looking for a job than jobs available, right? But that doesn't mean jobs are not available. Tons of jobs available, tons of jobs available, but there's just more high volume of candidates that are coming into organizations, application systems, tons of applications, tons of volume. Only the best of the best gets the interview. So it's not that jobs are not available during this pandemic. Tons of jobs available. It's just that you don't know how to stand out to your ideal company, to the ideal employer, to showcase that you are the right candidate and you are the candidate that they're looking for. And this is why you are struggling in your job search. So I'm here to give some tips and advice on how to shift from this victim state of mind that you keep putting yourself in and thinking you're the victim of pandemic, to how to shift that mindset to showcase that you're not the victim. You have everything you need to get this job that you want. So let me give you some advice and tips. In the meantime, please let me know where you're tuning in from. Introduce yourself, where you're tuning in from, and please type your questions below in the comments and I will answer them. Now, so how do you stand out of the crowd? You cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and think you're standing out of the crowd. Generic resume writing is not going to help you in any way. Having resumes that read like a job description is not you standing out of the crowd. Stop using generic resume templates. Stop copying and pasting job descriptions. Don't write your resume like a job description. Same thing with your LinkedIn. Same with your LinkedIn profile. You cannot write generic LinkedIn profiles and think you're going to get a job opportunity. I want you to sit there and think for a moment. Spend some time with yourself, do some soul searching, and ask yourself, who are you? Who are you? What do you bring to the table? And why should someone hire you? Now, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper here. So my boot camp just started yesterday. So I'm going to share a screen. I'm going to pull up one slide from my last night's class from my boot camp to show you. I'm going to teach you guys one method that I just taught yesterday in my bootcamp class. So give me 1 second. I'm going to share the screen with you guys and teach you how hiring managers make decisions. So let me pull up the slide for example. Okay, so let's go to screen share. Okay, let me know if you guys can see the screen. So I'm just gonna show. Okay, so let me quickly go into one slide of my bootcamp program. Okay. Okay. So hiring manager is a buyer. This is what you have to remember. So last night in my bootcamp class, you guys are getting a preview or demo of what I teach in the bootcamp. So this is just 1-2 slides I'm going to share out of last night's class, which started yesterday, bootcamp. So if anybody's interested, you can still sign up for the bootcamp. So let me explain something to you guys to really help you change your mindset, because the only way to land a job during this pandemic is that you need to change your mindset. You have to stop doing things the traditional way of job searching. Traditional job searching methods is not working in the pandemic, during this pandemic, and this is why you're struggling over and over and over in your job search. The last few weeks, past months, I've talked to so many individuals. A lot of people have been struggling to job search for 8 months, a year to and longer. You don't need to continue struggling in your job search. What you need to do is, first of all, you need to have a mindset change. You need to stop seeing yourself as a victim. You need to stop seeing yourself as a job seeker. But what you really need to do is start understanding how companies hire. Now, how companies hire, it's very similar to buying and selling. So all of you guys have bought something in your life, okay? So buying and selling is the tip. So it's the same. Buying and selling is the same method hiring managers are using to buy. When they're hiring, they're essentially, in one aspect, they're actually buying. So company is the buyer and you are the seller. Okay, so hiring manager is a buyer. They have a need, they have problems, and they need solutions. So you, the seller, have to position yourself as that solution. Okay, so now keep this in mind: buyer, seller. Okay, so that is how hiring managers make a decision. Now, let me give you an example of buying. Think of the last time you bought something, be a laptop, be a car, be a detergent. How did you, first of all, determine you have a need to buy something? And then what steps did you take before you made a buying decision? What steps did you look at? Like, what was the problems that you're facing? What was the solutions that you were looking for? And what was the outcome or result, desired outcome or result that you were looking for, right? So this is what we call the buyer's journey. So buyer's journey. So I'm only sharing 2 slides with you guys today from my bootcamp program that the first class just started yesterday. So buyer's journey. You have a pain. No, you have a pain. There's pain points. You have a pain. There's problems. There's challenges that need a solution to your problems, right? The need to avoid a pain or a loss. So that's how people make buying decisions, right? So it's a buying journey. That's how we make decisions. Now, when you have a pain and a problem, you're looking for a desired outcome and solution, you want solutions. So for example, let's take detergent, for example. Why would you buy detergent? Because what's your pain point? Dirty laundry, stains, right? So you have a problem. You need a solution to this problem. What are you looking for? You're looking to have clean clothes. You're looking for stains to be removed. Furthermore, you might have more needs. You may want your colors to be preserved when they wash. Like that, I look for that. I want anything I wash, the colors to be preserved as long as possible, so I can get more wear out of my clothes. So just you're identifying your needs, right? So you're thinking of what are you looking for? Now, results. What am I looking for? Clean clothes, stains to be removed, smells good, looks good. So all that stuff, and that's how I'm going to make my buying decision on what detergent I buy. Same thing with laptop. If we're looking to buy a laptop, what are we looking at? What are our current problems and challenges? So if I already have a laptop, and if I'm not happy with this laptop, first I'm going to identify why I'm not happy, right? If there's any pain points, then what am I looking for? The desired outcome that I'm looking for. What type of programs should it have? The speed, the RAM, all that stuff I'm going to write down. And the size of the laptop, which nowadays you want a camera because you're going to be doing all these video calls and stuff like that. And then the results I want from this laptop, and the price point. And then we go shopping for these things. So if I'm looking for a laptop, I'm going to go shopping now based on my homework and research and what I want, the features I want, the must-haves. And it's nice to have, right? So you determine the must-haves, you also determine the nice to have, and then we take this and we go shopping. Should we go shopping? Some of us might sit online and shop. Some of us might go physically in the stores. We'll pick top 3 stores and we'll go to these stores. We'll look at all the different models of computers or laptops that we maybe have narrowed down our search to top 3 or 4. And then from the top 3 or 4, we do a little bit of a demo with these computers or laptops, and then we pick one and we buy it. Maybe because it fit into our budget and also hit our must-have list, and then we buy, right? So now that is a buyer's journey. And that's how hiring is. It's a buyer's journey. You have to think like this in order to be successful in your job search. You have to think that you are the seller and the company is the buyer. They have a need. They also have pain points. They have problems that require solutions, and they're looking for desired results. Now, how do you fit into this? First of all, do you know what their pain points are? What solutions can you provide, and what results can you get? So before you even sit down and write your resume, you need to think like this. You need to think the hiring process as a buyer journey. You have to see the hiring process as a buyer and a seller transaction. Someone's buying and someone's selling, and the two will merge only when there's a mutual beneficial arrangement for both. Both parties have to benefit. The buyer definitely needs to benefit because they have an desired outcome and solution that they're looking for. So before you sit down and write your resume, you need to think of this. You need to see the recruitment process as a buyer and seller. Okay? Now, so this is the slides that I'm sharing today from my last night's bootcamp class. This is how companies make decisions, buyer and seller. There's a buyer and there's a seller. So now this formula, if you start seeing your job search like this and your entire career, you're seeing things like this, that there's a buyer and there's a seller transaction happening, I kid you not, you will always land jobs and you will always land high-paying jobs. You cannot be an average Joe to get high-paying jobs. You cannot continue and act and proceed like an average person, because if you're going to continue to be an average candidate, then you're going to get average results. If you want to elevate your career and you want to level up in your career and you want to continue to progress in your career and you want to land high-paying jobs, then you have to do things differently and you have to think differently. You have to understand how companies make hiring decisions. It's no difference. There's no difference between buying and selling decisions. It's exactly the same process. Someone has a need and they're buying to solve their problem. Okay, so now if you have questions for me, please type it below in the comment section and I will be more than happy to answer questions. So now I gave you a little bit of an example of mindset change. You need to understand this buying selling journey, and then you can go and make your resume. Then you can sit down and write your resume to target these organizations that have a need. Problems, what pain points can you solve? What problems can you solve? What solutions do you provide to these problems? And what are the outcome and results from these solutions? You need to do some soul searching here. Don't just start applying to jobs. Don't just sit there and write generic resumes. Don't write a generic LinkedIn profile, but start to sit there and ask yourself, what problems do you solve? What problems are you solving? Who needs these problems to be solved? This is all strategy. You got to start thinking strategic. So start to sit there, get a pen and paper out and start writing. What problems do you solve? Who has these problems? And let's face it, today, tons of companies have problems because COVID, right? You can also do Google research on your industry and how's your industry been impacted by COVID. And what problems are arising because of COVID? Tons of problems. Even companies that are booming right now because of COVID also have a lot of growing pains and problems and challenges because overnight they became in demand, but they can't keep up with the demand because overnight, how can someone overnight keep up with overnight they became in demand? They never predicted this, right? So a lot of companies like Amazon, Zoom, tons of other companies are booming right now because of COVID, and they're in demand, they're in need. Same thing with, there's over 30 startups in Toronto alone that are booming right now because of the COVID, because of this pandemic. And guess what? They are hiring like there's no tomorrow. So when companies are booming during this pandemic or any type of situation, be a recession time, those organizations are hiring, but those organizations also have tons of candidates that want to work for them because they're hiring, right? So this is how you're going to stand out from the crowd. It doesn't matter number of years experience you have. It doesn't matter what credentials you have, what education you have. What really matters is, in the end of the day, can you provide solutions to their problems? Can you get them desired results that they're looking to get? Can you do that? Are you that person? And that is how you can now write your resume and start positioning yourself. So those are just 2 slides from my last night's class in my boot camp. There's much more. Last night's class was 2 hours, so that's just a glimpse of 2 slides I just showed you that I teach in the boot camp for the first class. So let's take some questions now. Type your questions below in the comment section, and I will be happy to answer any questions. Let me make sure that we are live. I didn't even check, but I see comments coming in. It's Facebook, LinkedIn. Okay, let's see. Live. I didn't even check. Okay, perfect. So we are live. Hi, Dane. There is a shortage of white-collar jobs and abundance of blue-collar work like labor jobs. I disagree. I don't agree that there's a shortage of white-collar jobs and then increase in the abundance of blue-collar. There's an increase everywhere. There's shortages and then there's increase because tons of companies are booming because of COVID. There's also tons of new startups have merged to solve the problem during this COVID. So I kind of disagree. Hi, I'm from Toronto. Why is it necessary to share your previous salary with HRs? Is this a fair ask? Is this a fair ask? Yes or no? I don't ask salary questions as to what you were previously making. I don't think it's a fair ask. I don't think any company should be asking you what you were previously making. Instead, they should be asking, what is it that you want? What is it that your desired salary expectation is? And as a candidate, you should be doing your homework and research on what are you valued at? What is your market rate? So go to payscale.com to get some understanding of what's your market rate. And if you don't know what your market rate is, then you're going to end up in low-paying jobs. So always know what you are worth in the market and never take anything less than that. I'm from India. Okay. Unfortunately, ATS doesn't talk in account the fact that you can solve problems, but just keywords and stuff. So great point. ATS, well, no one's telling you to go apply to jobs online. So let me break this down. a lot of you guys are also struggling in your job search is because you're just applying to jobs online. Now, online job postings only make up about 20% of available jobs. 80% of available jobs exist in the hidden job market. These are jobs that are not posted, they're not advertised, but they exist. They exist. They get created on the spot sometimes. They exist in the sense that 90% of recruiters and HR professionals don't post jobs. They would rather sit on LinkedIn and go find the candidates they're looking for. So we call that headhunting. I do headhunting a lot as well for my clients. Where I'd rather go search and find the candidate myself instead of posting the position. So that's another way to get job opportunities. When you know people in your industry and they're looking for someone like you, they will come reaching out to you. Personal branding, having a strong brand is another way to have people reach out to you for your desired for your skills. You got to create awareness. So one of the other things I teach in my bootcamp program is I call it the job search funnel. And in that funnel, the number one step in the funnel is to create awareness that you exist. Now, applying to jobs online by ATS, it's not a surefire way to get results in your job search. Yeah, if you want to continue struggling in your job search, by all means, continue applying to jobs online. But if you want to end your job search struggles, then stop applying to jobs online. That should only be maybe 20% of your 10 to 20% of your time should be allocated just to applying to jobs online. But it shouldn't be your 100% of your time should not be allocated to applying to jobs online. That's why you're struggling. To be honest, the reason why people are struggling today in their job search is because they're only applying to jobs online. That worked before pandemic. That worked 3 years ago, but it's not working because there's tons of companies that are hiring, but there's also millions of people looking for a job. When there's high competition, you gotta step out of the box. You have to do things differently. And if you're not willing to do things differently, sadly, the truth is that you're gonna continue struggling, and months and months are gonna keep going by, and you're still not gonna be in a job. I know people that are been out of a job for a year, 8 months, and they're still struggling, and they're not willing to do anything different. If you're not willing to do something different, you're going to continue to struggle. So if you want to end your job search struggles, I highly recommend, I just started the bootcamp program yesterday. It is sold out, but I'm willing to open it up because it is the last batch. I'm willing to open it up and have others join. So it is the last batch for this year, just started yesterday. You can take advantage. If you are ready to end your job search struggles, you know what you are doing is not working, you want to land a job before Christmas, by Christmas, then I highly recommend you joining my bootcamp program. I'm willing to take more people on because it is the last batch. So sign up. You don't have to struggle. So I'm dropping the link. Sign up. All classes are recorded. You will have access to the replay of yesterday's class as well. So sign up. You don't have to continue struggling. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, you are welcome. So if you have any questions, please type it below in the comment section and I will answer any questions you guys bring. So now let's move on to the next part. Next part, another tip I have for you guys is job search strategy. So now you have to have a strategy. You have to have a strategy. So if you want to end your job search struggle, first sit down and create a strategy. Now, rule of thumb, apply the 80-20. 80% of your time and effort should be spent on tapping into the hidden job market where 80% of jobs exist. 20% of your time should be allocated to applying to jobs online. So let's take the 20% first. So now, I'm going to break down the strategy for 20%. So 20% of your time should be spent to applying jobs online. Now, here's the steps you need to follow before you apply to any job online. Here's what you need to do. First of all, you need to know what you want. Only apply to jobs that you match 100%. 90%. Okay, let's go with 90%. If you match the requirements 90%, only then apply to the job. Don't just apply to every job you're seeing. It's not helping you in any way. So really get focused and only apply to jobs that you match 90%. I would say only apply to jobs you match 100% because the competition is so high. Millions of people. On average, there's about 500 applicants per job. Only 10 people are going to get interviewed, right? If you want to be one of those 10 people, then you got to do what I'm telling you to do. First, read the job description, go to the requirement section and ask yourself, do you hit everything that they're looking for, the must-haves? Okay, do you hit the must-haves? All of it. Don't leave anything to chance. Second, do you have the nice to have desired skills as well? Now, when you sit down to write your resume, make sure your resume speaks to that one job that you're applying to. Make sure you have all the right keywords in there. But you also have to write it in a way that when a reader's reading it, they're excited and you grab their attention and they want to call you because ATS will, okay, so there's 2 layers, 2 steps you have to remember. There's ATS and then there's a human being on the other side of the table from the ATS. So first you have to get your resume past the ATS. So how do you ensure your resume is going to get past the ATS is you can use JobScan. Tools like JobScan. There's other tools as well. JobScan's coming to my head, but there's tons of other tools that I teach in the bootcamp program. But right now, JobScan is the only one that's sticking in my head. But there's tons of apps and tools like JobScan available online. So what you need to do is before you apply to the job, copy and paste the job description onto JobScan or any tool that you're using, then upload your resume. Then it will scan it for you and it will tell you how you match. How is your resume matching with this job posting? It would rank you. Make sure your resume is 100% a match, not 80%. It's not going to work during this pandemic. Don't aim for 80%. 80% worked last year. If you had a resume that hit 80% or above, you know your chances of getting an interview, at least the first call, is high. So make sure your resume is matching. I would say be aggressive. If you're going to apply to jobs online, you have to do everything to be that 10, be the 5%, the 10 person that gets the interview, right? You want to hit that 10, 15, because only 10, 15 people are going to get interviewed out of the 500, 600 people that are applying for that one job. How are you going to be that person that gets the interview? This is how. Then you want to make sure that once you have all that resume 100% matching, you also have to make sure that your resume is scannable to the reader. So on average, HR, like person like me and recruiters, we spend about 8 seconds or less, and we do a quick scan first of your resume copy once it comes to us through the ATS. And if it's a match, we only look at the top 10 candidates. That's it. We're not going to go looking all down the 500, 600. There's no way. We don't have time. We're only going to look at the top 10. We're only going to look at the top 10 candidates, and we're only going to review those top 10 candidates' resumes. And if those resumes are exciting to us, then we'll schedule a call. And that's just one phone call. That's the first call of interview, right? So your resume also has to be written in the reader's perspective and also has to be presented so it's easy to scan. So make sure you're just not writing a bunch of keywords, because a lot of people get so caught up about ATS that they only write keywords and forget that there's a human being that's going to be reading your resume, and that human being has to be excited enough to want to call you. So you have to impress 2 things when you're applying to jobs online: ATS and a human being who's going to read your resume. So it's a no-brainer to them that they need to pick up the phone and call you. So that's how you get the interview. Once you get the interview, you have to pass these interviews in order to land a job. And I can tell you 99% of people suck in interviews. I've been doing this for 15 years plus. I've interviewed so many candidates. Even today I interview candidates, and I can tell you 99% of people suck in interviews, don't know how to even interview. So that's the half battle. Now, that's what you need to do to hit when you're in the 20%. Now, 80% of all available jobs these jobs are not posted. You will not see them on job boards. You will not even see them on LinkedIn job boards. Nothing. They're not posted. But there's a way to access these. And the beauty behind this is you don't have to worry about ATS at all. You don't even need a perfect resume. God damn it, you don't even need a resume to hit these hidden job market. There's tons of ways to hit the hidden job market. So let me give you a quick outline on tips and advice on how to hit this 80%. To hit the 80% of the job market, here's tip 1. Have your LinkedIn profile be SEO friendly, search engine optimized friendly, because 90% of recruiters in HR are sitting on LinkedIn typing in keywords to find candidates that they're looking for. If your LinkedIn profile is empty, you're not coming up in these searches. So your headline matters. What you put in your profile matters. The more stuff in your LinkedIn profile, more chances of you being searchable. Your LinkedIn profile has to be searchable. If it's not searchable, you're not showing up when people are searching for it. Make sure you have a picture. Make sure you have a banner. Make sure it's attractive. Make sure it's grab people's attention. Okay, so that's the advice 2 on LinkedIn is your LinkedIn profile also has to be attractive and inviting, and it grabs attention. And that's where a lot of you guys are feeling on your LinkedIn profiles is, 1, it's not SEO friendly, it's not fully complete, and lastly, it doesn't grab attention. Okay, so that's 3 steps. Network to make friends. Friends. Stop asking for jobs, instead start getting to know people and build relationships. 4th step, build your personal brand. So now going back to LinkedIn, LinkedIn's the best power tool you are sitting on that you're not utilizing. You need to start getting active on LinkedIn. You need to start writing your own content, put out posts, content after content after content, add value to someone who's reading your content, showcase that you are the expert in your field. You know how to solve problems. Showcase that by writing your content. Look what I'm doing right now. I'm showcasing my knowledge on job search and sharing it with you guys. And what happens in return? I get people buying my services and coaching. That's how people buy, right? So if you want companies to buy you as a candidate, that you are the ideal candidate, then start writing content, start building your brand. That's how you make more money. Networking. I say networking to make friends, but then utilize all these apps. There's Shaper, there's Meetup, there's Bumblebiz. There's tons of networking apps that you should be on and should be connecting with people and become friends with people. Okay, next step, be everywhere. Join Facebook groups, join LinkedIn groups, be active, start talking, post, be so active and so much in people's faces that they can't forget you. When they need you, you're the first person that pops into their mind. So get active. Okay, lastly, become guest speaker, join other people's podcasts. Message people who run podcasts or LinkedIn Lives and ask them if you can be their guest, if you have something valuable to share. There's so many things you can be doing to tap into the hidden job market that no one teaches you how to do all this, but I do. I teach all this. I teach all this in my bootcamp program, and this is why my clients get results fast. They're not struggling 8 months, a year. They don't even struggle for 6 months. They're landing jobs in 60 days or less. Now, fact finding and results, people always ask me, what's the success rate of your bootcamp and people getting jobs? Bootcamp is 100% success rate. That's what my clients tell me, because people go through a transformation in this program. Mindsets are changed. You're learning how to build your brand. So many things are happening in this bootcamp. Also, people have landed jobs in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 30 days, 45 days, or less than 60 days. And that is the track record of this bootcamp. So choice is yours. You can still join. The bootcamp just started yesterday, but I'm still willing to take on more people, even though I'm capped out. But because it's the last batch, and I know how important it is for people to land jobs, especially because the holidays are coming up. Christmas is just around the corner. And I would hate for anyone to not to be in a job before Christmas, because it would really suck if you're still not in a job by Christmas. Your Christmas holidays, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, we still get in the spirit of holidays and we spend time with our family members. Christmas, this holiday can be more special if you are truly in a job that you are happy and you're making money. I can make that happen for you. So join my bootcamp if you want. Join. I'm still taking on more people, willing to take on more people. Okay, let's take questions. Hope you're doing great. Just wanted to know how Winnipeg, Manitoba, or for job market in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and please provide any ATS format sample on your page, which helps to build. Wow, a lot of questions here. I'm not going to comment on all these promises, because here's what I believe. I believe you can create a demand for yourself. Companies need you. They can find you. You can build your personal brand. You can go find any job that you want, and you can land in it if you know how to do it. If you know how to go get these jobs, you know how to market yourself. And ATS resume format, I sell it. I have a ATS resume template that you can buy from our website, store.hrsuperhero.ca. You can buy it. Let's not get caught up. Templates do not get you jobs. I'm being very honest. Templates are not going to get you interviews. It's what you write in the resume that will determine if you're going to get the interviews. So I hope that helps. Okay, any more? So if you have questions for me, please feel free to type it in the question box, and I will be more than happy to answer. I will stick around for another 5 minutes because I don't see any questions coming in. If you just tuned in, then you want to watch the replay, because earlier I shared 2 slides from my bootcamp program to help you create that mindset change of how companies buy. So I shared 2 slide decks today about how companies make hiring decisions and how managers hire. So make sure you watch the replay to really understand that. That will really, really, really help you in positioning yourself and help you in your job search to become more successful. So that's all the time I have today. I don't see any more questions coming in. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. For Friday, I always do an end of the week job search Q&A. Bring your questions, ask me any questions. Feel free to join the bootcamp program. I'm going to drop the link. I'm willing to take on more people. The program just started yesterday. Each class is recorded. You can catch the recording to catch up. The next class is on Saturday. This is a complete solution to your job search struggles. Join. Let's get you in your dream job before Christmas, before the holidays, and let's make this holiday very special. Let's end the year on a bang with you being in your dream job and making more money. I can make it happen. Message me, and let's make this happen, and let's make this a reality for you. Thank you. Bye.